So, hello students. Today I will be discussing lattice energy. What is lattice energy? How lattice energy affects the stability of an ionic solid, and how lattice energy decides the solubility of an ionic compound. So, what is lattice energy? So, lattice energy is the of an ionic compound is defined as the amount of energy released when 1 mole of ionic crystal is formed. So, when 1 mole of ionic crystal is formed from its constituent gaseous ions, that means cation and anion, the amount of energy released is called lattice energy. It is also defined in other way, the amount of energy required to break 1 mole of ionic solid into its constituent gaseous and cations which are present at infinite distance. That is also. So if we take in the other way, then it will be plus 782. So when 1 mole of ionic solid NaCl is formed, 782 kilojoule per mole energy is released. So lattice energy increases, then tendency of formation of an ionic compound also increases. If more lattice energy is released, an ionic compound's tendency will be more to get formed. Lattice energy is also related to the stability of an ionic solid. Higher the lattice energy, higher is the stability of ionic solid. If lattice energy is high, hardness of ionic solid is also more. And if lattice energy is high, then melting point of an ionic solid is also more. So lattice energy is the amount of energy released when 1 mole of ionic solid is formed from its constituent gases, cations and anions. If we define in another way, then it is the amount of energy required to break 1 mole of ionic solid into its constituent gaseous, cations and anions. Higher the lattice energy, more will be the solubility of stability of ionic solid, lesser will be its solubility in water. And more will be the tendency of an ionic solid to get formed. And hardness and melting point will increase if lattice energy increases. So lattice energy is directly proportional to the product of the charge on cation into product of the charge on anion. So higher will be the product of charge on cation and anion, higher will be the lattice energy. Suppose if we see magnesium oxide and if we see NaCl, if we compare, then magnesium has 2 plus charge and oxide has 2 minus charge, and if sodium has 1 plus charge and minus. If we take the magnitude here, then its magnitude is coming 4, and if we take magnitude here, it is coming 1. That means magnesium oxide will have more lattice energy as compared to sodium chloride. Suppose if we try to find out the lattice energy of NaCl and LiCl, then we have to see here the product of charge on cation and anion are equal. So we have to resort to the second thing, that is the radius of the cation plus radius of the anion. Here radius of the anion is common because it is only chloride ion. So radius of lithium will decide. Radius of lithium is less than radius of sodium. Therefore, the lattice energy of lithium chloride is more than that of sodium chloride. Now let's discuss this question. Which has highest lattice energy? Cesium chloride, cesium fluoride, cesium bromide, cesium iodide. So here cesium ion is common. Cesium ion is common in all this. So we have to see that fluoride ion is smaller than chloride ion is smaller than bromide is smaller than iodide. So we find that this anionic radius of chloride is less, so that will have more lattice energy, because if lesser is the radius of cation and anion, more will be the lattice energy. Higher the charge on cation and more will be the lattice. So the correct answer is cesium fluoride. So higher the lattice energy, more stable is the ionic solid. Lesser is its solubility in water. So that means higher the lattice energy, more stable is the ionic solid, lesser is the solubility of that ionic solid in water. So if we compare the solubility of sulfate, phosphate, oxalates of alkaline earth metals and alkali metals, we find that the lattice enthalpy of alkaline earth metal sulfates, phosphate and oxalates are more than that of lattice enthalpy of sulfate, phosphate, oxalates of alkali metals. Therefore, the solubility of alkaline earth metal sulfate, phosphate, oxalates are less as compared to the solubility of sulfates, phosphate and oxalates of alkali metals. The reason being, when you go from left to right in a period, what happens? The atomic size decreases. atomic size decreases, therefore the alkaline earth metals like beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium, they have a smaller size as compared to lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. We are not discussing about francium. Francium being radioactive. Not radium also we will not take because they are radioactive in nature. So considering the size of the alkaline earth metal which are smaller, resulting into more lattice enthalpy, therefore the alkaline earth metal sulfate, phosphate, oxalates are less soluble as compared to alkali metals sulfate, phosphates and oxalates. Now, how to calculate lattice energy? It is difficult to calculate lattice energy. That means lattice energy cannot be calculated directly. It can only be calculated by using Born-Haber cycle. So, lattice energy can be calculated by using Born-Haber cycle, which is based on Hess law. Based on Hess's law. And this Hess law is based on principle of conservation of energy. Principle of conservation of energy. Principle of conservation of energy. So lattice energy can be calculated using Born-Haber cycle, which is based on Hess law. Hess law is based on conservation of energy, principle of conservation of energy. So let's see what is Born-Haber cycle. So first we will start with sodium. Sodium is present in the solid state and chlorine is the gas. So 1 mole of sodium react with half moles of chlorine gas to form sodium chloride solid. The amount of energy released in this process is called heat of formation. Now sodium has to be converted into sodium gas. The amount of energy required in this case is called enthalpy of sublimation. Enthalpy of sublimation. Sodium gas has to be converted into sodium cation. The amount of energy required in this case is called ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy. Chlorine molecule has to be dissociated into chlorine atom. This process requires enthalpy of dissociation, and since we are taking half moles, it is half enthalpy of dissociation. Now chlorine gas converted into chloride ion, the amount of energy required is called electron affinity, or we can say electron gain enthalpy. And when sodium ion and chloride ion combines together to form sodium chloride solid, the amount of energy released is called lattice enthalpy. The amount of energy released is called lattice enthalpy. If we add enthalpy of sublimation, ionization enthalpy, lattice enthalpy, electron affinity, half dissociation energy, the sum of these energies will be equal to enthalpy of formation. So following the principle of conservation of energy, we can find that delta H formation is equal to delta H sublimation plus ionization enthalpy plus half dissociation energy plus electron affinity plus lattice enthalpy. So this way we can easily find out lattice enthalpy. So lattice enthalpy is equal to delta H formation minus enthalpy of sublimation plus ionization enthalpy plus half dissociation energy plus electron affinity. So we know the value for this. The value of lattice enthalpy can easily be calculated. So this is Born-Haber cycle. This is Born-Haber cycle for the formation of NaCl. So with the help of this we can calculate the lattice enthalpy. Now how we will know whether the ionic compound will be soluble or not. So if the lattice enthalpy is more than hydration enthalpy. Hydration enthalpy is the amount of energy released when 1 mole of ions get hydrated in aqueous solution. So if lattice enthalpy is more than hydration enthalpy, the solubility of that ionic compound will be not there. That means it will be insoluble. So first case, when lattice enthalpy is more than hydration enthalpy, the ionic compound will be insoluble. If lattice enthalpy is nearly equal to hydration enthalpy, the ionic compound will be soluble, but it will be soluble by taking heat. That means the process will be endothermic. It will absorb heat and then it will be soluble. If lattice enthalpy is less than hydration enthalpy, the ionic compound will be soluble and it will release energy, because hydration energy here is more. So water has a dielectric constant of 81. So water has a very high dielectric constant of 81. Therefore most of the ionic compounds are soluble in water, and water is regarded as a universal solvent, and this is the best solvent due to its high dielectric constant. So thank you student. We will be discussing next topic in my upcoming videos. Thank you so much.